Hey guys, Manga Unboxed here, back for another video, and today I'm going to be doing my May Manga Reading Log. I got to read a lot of different series this month because there were a lot of new releases. I picked some of those up and went through volume 1s or just stuff I've been continuing, and also I finished a series, so let's just get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is Undead Unlock, and just first off, this volume looks super nice, the cover's really nice, and for some reason, the spine isn't even like that special, it just looks really clean to me. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just, I don't know, maybe because it's very flat, but this just is a really nice looking volume. I read it in a car ride, and I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't, super great, but it has a nice premise, and I heard that it gets a lot better from like after the first volume-ish, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'll keep going with it. I'm not sure exactly how many chapters there are now, but it is an ongoing series, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So something that I've been really loving and continuing is The Way the House Husband. Sometimes these volumes can take a while to come out, but they are worth it. They're pretty short, they're thin, and there's not too much text. It's kind of episodical by the chapter. It's a comedy series about a Yakuza boss who becomes a house husband, and it just kind of over intensifies situations, and it's just a blast. You're not gonna get something like super intriguing, but it's just a fun read. It's good. I highly recommend it, especially if you're into kind of like comedy manga and you're into episodical stuff. And also the art is surprisingly really good. Like, look at this cover. Some of the other ones are better. I actually think I have some of the volumes here, but like, they're really nice for just being a manga about a house husband. So now we have Astador Volume 2. Volume 1 was pretty good. It came out, I think, maybe 3-4 months ago, but it's a Naoki Urasawa series. I think it is ongoing, and this is not the last time you're gonna see Urasawa in this video, but I enjoyed this more than Volume 1. Volume 1 was pretty good, but I thought that this was better. It's still kind of building up to the like main plot. We kind of know what's happening, but not really. They're kind of showing more things and hinting at the kaiju and that stuff, and there is kind of like a direct interaction, but this was good. It's continuing to get better and better, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because Urasawa can be known for at the start it being a little bit slower, but when it builds up it gets really good, and Astador so far is good, and I recommend you check it out, especially if you like Urasawa. So now we have kind of a big series, or at least I think it's getting pretty big now, and it's Hell's Paradise. I read Volume 7 and Volume 8. I didn't really get a chance to read 7, and I think it was released like a month and a half ago, but I read both of these this month, and these covers are absolutely great. The artwork in this is great, and I think that this is one of these series that is just really solid in like all aspects. I think that like most manga readers could get into this and really enjoy it. There's ninjas, samurai, action, mystery, good plot, power system, great fights, great arts. It just kind of has it all. I think that the plot structure is really good. It kind of reminds me of Attack on Titan, just like the mystery, the unknown, and all that. Like, it has nothing like Titans and stuff, but it's just kind of the same, not the same, but similar plot structure. I think that this can be enjoyed by a lot of people. I highly recommend you check it out. There's just so many attributes to it that make it good. Also, it has good characters. I forgot to mention that. But just to anyone really, maybe look into a bit, pick up, I'd say maybe the first 2 volumes. I don't think the first volume really does it justice. It's still a good first volume, but it doesn't really get into a lot of the stuff that it gets into later. But check out Hell's Paradise, it's really good. So now we have one of my favorite series, and that is Beastars. This volume was good. It was kind of like a cool down, I would say. The volumes before were just like filled with action, like 11, 10, 9, just a lot of them just had a ton of stuff. This still had a lot of good content. I enjoyed it, and Beastars is just such a good series, and I always mention this, but it's one that gets a lot of unnecessary hate just because it's about animals, which you can see why people would hate on it, but it's mostly from people that haven't even read it. So I would recommend checking out Beastars. I think that when you're into like manga and anime, keeping an open mind is pretty important, because there's a lot of great series that may seem weird that you would miss out on if you just kind of push to the side. So now we have Beastars related content, and that is Beast Complex. This is kind of like a collection of like short stories in the Beastars world. I think all of them were between a relationship with like a herbivore and a carnivore. But I'd say that if you like Beastars, and especially if you like the world and like how the society is and how it's set up, I recommend you check this out. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't think it's nearly as good as Beastars. I think that in general, short story collections can be hit or miss, especially because they don't really get time to build. But I thought this was good. I'm gonna continue with it because I really like Beastars, and just, it was pretty solid. It wasn't like amazing, but I'd say it's solid. I recommend it if you're a Beastars fan. So our second to last manga in this video is a one-shot, and that is Mujirushi, The Sign of Dreams. And this is, again, by Naoki Urasawa. And this surprised me. I thought it was really good. A lot of this series is kind of build-up, but I enjoyed all that build-up. It has to do with France and the Louvre and a mystery. It's kind of about this family that goes into major debt, and they kind of get wrapped up in a kind of like heist kind of thing in the Louvre. And it's kind of a mystery. It's like some Urasawa things where there's a bunch of things going on, and in the end they slowly kind of eventually wrap together and all make sense. I thought this was really good. I've heard people say that it was really confusing, but I didn't really find it too confusing. I think maybe if you read it in different sittings, it could be confusing, but I just read it all at once. It doesn't take too long, and I recommend this to anyone really. If you want just a short, good manga, this is good, and especially if you're an Urasawa fan, check this out. So lastly, we have the final series of this reading log, and probably the highlight of it, I thought. Well, definitely the highlight of it. This one is super popular, really good, and it is by Urasawa, and that is Monster. I finally finished it. I've been reading it for a while, but I read 10 volumes of it, or 5 of these perfect editions. I read 5 through 9, and this was really, really good. Just, there's so much mystery and so many things going on. I feel like if you take breaks, you could definitely get lost in it. But just the way everything comes together was super good and satisfying. I thought that the ending was good. The characters are great. The writing is great. One of the best plots that I've read. Just like it being so, like, so many things happening at once, and just like everything coming together perfectly. There aren't really like plot holes in it, none that I really saw. It's really good. It's one of the highest like acclaimed manga that you can like search up or read. Urasawa is just great. And one thing that I've always thought about Urasawa, but never really got to say in a video, but I've been meaning to, he kind of reminds me of Osamu Tezuka, like his art style and the way he storytells. Just from the little bit of Tezuka that I've read, his art style, like the character designs can look more simplistic and not as like realistic, but the backdrops are really, really good. Like his art style is like kind of like Tezuka's, but like polished a lot more, and I'd say a lot better. His storytelling is probably the same, where it's just a lot better than Tezuka's from what I've seen so far, because I need to read more Tezuka stuff because he has like hundreds of works. But from what I've seen, Naoki Urasawa is just really great. I need to read 20th Century Boys and Pluto, which I've heard are also like S tier series. I don't know exactly where I stand on rating Monster right now. I need to think about it a little bit, but it was just super great. I think that it's worth like basically all the hype it gets, and it's just an amazing series. So all in all, I had a great month for reading. Monster was great, and I love just kind of getting a little stack of like new releases and just being able to kind of go through them slowly. Like all the releases this month were pretty good. I'd say that the best one, I can't really say a best one because there were a lot of good ones, but I feel like just around now there have been like a lot of stuff coming out. I missed a few. I still need to get like A School Frozen in Time Volume 1, and I think there are like a couple more that I need to check out, and I still haven't read Spy Family 4, even though that came out like months ago. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.